Hey, welcome back to At Babe and Library. It's your girl Lisa, and I'm in a different location. I am not at home, and I haven't left the house, so I'm not in the bed with my outside clothes on. I'm actually on vacation, and I'll use the excuse to say that's partly why I'm so far behind on recording, but honestly, I've just been procrastinating, which is the story of my life. Since I last spoke with you, I've read three additional books for the Noir November challenge. I read a black memoir, which was Uphill by Jamel Hill. I read another fantasy, Before You Say It, No, It's Not Bloodmark. My second fantasy that I read for this month is actually Amari and the Great Game. And I read A.E. Valdez's A Worthy Love. So, jumping right into my black memoir, Uphill by Jamel Hill is a memoir of Jamel Hill, obviously, who was a sportscaster for ESPN. You all may know her as a Sports Center analyst. You may know her from His and Hers. But what a lot of you probably know her for is her reaction to Donald Trump's presidency, right? Trump, our former president, was very vocal on Twitter. Looks like Elon Musk is giving him his Twitter account back, so he's going to be back at it. But Jamel Hill, she's not a girl to shy away from any type of drama or any type of conflict, and you all can see that in her memoir. What I want you all to know is there are trigger warnings or content warnings for drug abuse, alcoholism, child molestation. There is trigger warnings for misogyny, prejudice, and trigger or content warning for abortion. But some of the things that she talks about in her memoir kind of help shape how she decided to tackle her journey in the sports world. We talk about Black women in the media. This was very reminiscent of another book that I read about 2 years ago, which was Say It Louder. It talks about how in the media industry, you as a Black woman, you have to fight for your place, and you have to be able to use your voice to represent your community, whether that be hiring staff that looks like you, that is going to keep you grounded. And that's, making sure that your back is covered when it comes to the way that in which the news is being broadcast or the information is being displayed. Even having makeup artists to support you in terms of making sure that your skin complexion looks right as you're getting on camera. Jamel Hill also talks about family dynamics, right? So you'll see how her grandmother and mother's reactions to one another and how they interacted impacted her relationship with her mother, right? You'll see in terms of lineage. I was blown away by some of the work that she did at the age of 18. And that just shows you there are no limits and no bounds of what you can do as long as you believe in your craft and what you set your mind to do. I found this memoir a little bit jarring in terms of she had a stream of conscious writing style. So sometimes it was a little bit difficult for me to follow her storyline and say, okay, well, when are we getting to the point of this, right? For her to tie up and make sure things connect. Which is very interesting as she is a writer. So to see her memoir in a stream of consciousness rather than a linear format was very hard for me to follow. But I will say some of the things that I really did appreciate was that her journalism came through in terms of her having a balance and order, right? So even her duality and balance in talking about her own story was very interesting to me. I will say it is hard with any memoir to be able to read something and not see the upper spin that the author is putting on it. So I would say if you ever had any interest in knowing more about Jamel Hill, you have a interest in knowing what it's like to be in a journalism field or in media, pick this book up. It talks. All right, so my second book that I actually finished was A Worthy Love, right? I love this book. This was a 5-star read. This was the first time I ever read from A.E. Valdez. And I will say, I have been seeing her books on Instagram. So Colliding with Fate was probably the most common ones. And then I noticed that she was going to SteamCon or SteamLitCon. I should know because I've already bought my tickets. So a diversity romance author signing weekend, and this is their first year, and I did buy my tickets. It's going to be in Anaheim, California in August. I think it's the 18th and 19th. I'm super excited because this is going to be my first major book event, and it has some of the most amazing authors there, right? So I'm excited to meet A.E. Valdez, who A.H. Cunningham, to Abby Jimenez. You're going to get to see Chloe Leese, Cleo Evans there. There's going to be Danielle Allen, JJ McAvoy, J.L. Seegers is going to be there. You're going to have Katrina Jackson there, Kimberly Lemming. So all these artists or all these authors that I've been reading this month will be here, and my books will be in tow. So I am very excited. QB Tyler will be there. So look out for a video for me closer to the time of the convention so I can tell you what I'm bringing to the signing. But back to A.E. Valdez's A Worthy of Love. This is utter perfection. Now, granted, it is 500 pages, but let me tell you, do not fear. She keeps you engaged from the prologue. I mean, I was highlighting from the prologue to the end. And every time I read a page, I was like, oh, this would be a good stopping point. I got to 90% and I'm like, okay, we can be done. And then I would read the rest and I was like, damn, I didn't know I needed that. And then I would read some more and I'd be like, that's good. Keep that. So this is indie romance. If you are looking for that Black romance that has, you know, some of the tropes you love, Marriage in Vegas, you will see that you've got the good girl trope. This is a enemies with benefits. So if you are looking for enemies with benefits similar to Twisted Hate, but you want it in the Black format, A Worthy Love is it for you. So this is Marissa and Asher's love story, right? So you get to see, they live, well, actually, Marissa lives in Portland and Asher lives in Seattle, but he is running for promotion in his uncle's company. He's wanting to be a VP in the architect firm, and he's looking for that next big opportunity. So his uncle provides him with a situation. Hey, you can go to Cabo or you can go to Portland. And at this point, Asher is already intrigued, and he really just wants to mess with Marissa. So he's like, okay, send me to Portland. And there he casually runs into Marissa, and Marissa is looking for a roommate. So this is a roommates to lovers trope as well. And what I found really interesting, so she puts up a flyer, is looking for a roommate, and he's sabotaging. He runs off her potential candidates for roommates. So he's like, hey, let me room with you. I got you. I'll pay for whatever I need to, because again, Asher, when I tell you, I'm in love. And I'm not in love with him simply because, you know, he is he's willing to care for her in terms of financial, and he's willing to give her the best D ever. What I love about him is that, you know, you will see through this story, he is her rock. Everything that, you know, she goes through, he got the answer. He is solving it for her. He's trying to make sure that she's good in any form that he needs her in. So what I want to see is, he's like, hey, I'm going to move in. You ain't got no choice. And we're going to do this thing. And so from there, you will get to see, you know, the sweet and salty. They mix it up. You've got again, they still enemies. All right, so I'm back. If you want something that's gonna give you like every single emotion, if you want something that's hot and spicy, this book's got it. If you want something that is sweet and loving, this book's got it. If you want to be, you know, so you just want to get your anger out and you want to generate it towards somebody, Reese is that person. You can, baby, he gonna make you mad. If you want to, you know, tear up, I will show you a clip of me reading on the plane, and it got to a point where I was like, my emotions hit. And let me tell you, when the title of a book hits in a story, you know it's a good time. So again, 5 out of 5 stars. And lastly, the final book I read was Amari and the Great Game. When I tell you, I'm a whole adult, and BB almost made me lose my religion over a middle grade book. This did it. This took me out. I don't want to spoil anything, so if you have not read Amari and the Night Brothers, that is job number one. This follows Amari Peters. She is, again, this is a mix of, this is a fantasy middle grade book. It is essentially considered a mix between like Men in Black and Harry Potter. Amari Peters is a young girl from Atlanta who is really just trying to figure out how she can get her brother back. In book one, you see her go to this academy where she is finding her way. She learns about herself a little bit more, and she is put to the test of the stakes are higher this time. So she had tests and tribulations in the first book, and this is the aftermath. You really find out haters are gonna hate, and Black young women are gonna shine regardless, like the stars on this book. Amari Peters is that girl, and she got some good friends. You get to meet new characters like Jaden, who she brought back from the hood with her, and he gets to thrive, right? That young Black boy joy, being soft and sweet. You get to see the Van Helsing siblings again, so you get to meet and get to spend more time with Maria. You get to see a different side of Laura. You get the best friend Elsie again. Elsie is the best. Don't worry, if you wanted to see what happens with Dylan, he's still in the story. This book leaves you on a heck of a cliffhanger. But before I go into like that part, some of the things that I loved about reading this is BB Austin, cousin BB, said, y'all gonna get this Black culture today. It has some of the funniest scenes. There is a scene where she's playing Witch's Spade, which I'm gonna tell you right now, your girl is a punk. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play Witch's Spade because some of the pranks that go along with playing spades with these witches, too high for me. Too rich for my blood. But Amari, being that girl, she said, deal me in. Y'all got secrets. Y'all gonna play me. I got magic and spades. Give it to me. Then you get to see, I appreciate Elsie because she is truly down for Amari. She said, hey, she didn't know Amari be on CP time, but she was like, I told you 6 o'clock, knowing the train takes off at 6:15 because you gonna be late, sis. Amari just really try to be the best human being she can possibly be. She fighting for those who have done her wrong. She fighting for those to come after her. She said, I'm gonna leave the door open for you. I don't wanna be the last. And I know y'all are gonna give me a hard time, but I can handle it. Amari and BB just made magic, and I can't wait for the third one. So I know that's not really telling you much. I don't want to spoil this book, but I need you all to make sure that if you haven't had a chance to pick up Amari and the Night Brothers, do that. Pick up a copy of A.E. Valdez's book and tell me what you think. Till next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.